When they killed George Floyd, did you stop going to white businesses? Did you stop shopping at IKEA?
IKEA is Swedish. Swedish.
Did you stop eating Haagen-Dazs?
Haagen-Dazs is Polish American. He migrated here in 1921 from Poland.
Did you stop posting to Pinterest?
Even though he was born here, the executive chairman of Pinterest is Chinese and German. I think you're generalizing what you think white American or white businesses actually is. It's not my job to give you a history lesson, but it is my job to clarify a few things. In Houston, for example, do you see an IKEA anywhere in any hood at all? We see different types of Asians in our community. We see Indians, we see Vietnamese, we see Chinese, and we see Korean, all in our neighborhoods. We don't see no white people like that. This was a total situation because not only was the police officer that killed George Floyd white, but he was also a police officer. It's a totally different fight. Totally different fight. And we've been dealing with corrupt police officers that's been killing black people since we've been here. We wanted that police officer put under the motherfucking jail. We wasn't worried about no white businesses. We've seen too many instances where they've harmed us or killed us and gotten away with it because of the badge on their motherfucking chest. And guess what? It worked. David Chauvin was sentenced to second-degree unintentional murder and third-degree murder. All of the other officers that participated in George Floyd's death was also sentenced as well. Between 2020 and 2021 alone, the U.S. government passed over 140 law enforcement oversight bills. And policing in these neighborhoods immediately went down 50% after George Floyd's death and these protests. Were there negative impacts as well? Yes. But did we get the motherfucking job done? Yes, the fuck we did. The boycott call is a little bit different, isn't it? We're not gonna do to your businesses what we did to those businesses when George Floyd lost his motherfucking life. Because it was one of, or the most costliest protest in American history. We just said we ain't want to come to them motherfuckers for a little while, depending on how long, however motherfucking we feel, till we get over it. And we are well within our right to do so. Well within our right to do so. Maybe if you understand the importance of the black dollar, maybe you'll understand the importance of the black life. Because the rift is ridiculous.
Boycotting Asian businesses isn't the primary way to bring about change. Before you come at me, black people, please listen to the rest of this post. But first, I have to address the Asians. Asians, did you know your fear and hatred of black people isn't your own? You've been brainwashed. Well, more accurately, your great-great-great-granddaddy has been brainwashed. But I'll get into that history lesson. First, current statistics. Did you know most violent crimes committed are by people of the same race? Meaning, white on white crime. Hispanic people against Hispanic people, black people against black people, Asians against Asians. The only exception to this are Native Americans. They tend to not go around hurting each other. However, Asians, do you know what the most violent group towards you is race-wise outside of yourselves? It's not black people. Let me give you a moment. It's white people in the form of hate crimes. So why are you so scared and fearful of black people then? Well, let me tell you, because your granddaddy wanted to come over here and they said, bet, but you have to work. You have to like own your own business. They said, no problem. So they went to the bank and they said, may we get a loan? We want to open up a business in this neighborhood. And the bank said, you're not opening up a business in our white neighborhood, whatever they called Asians at that time. But guess what? We will give you a loan though, but you have to open up in this neighborhood, black communities. And that is why, to this day, there's so many Asian restaurants, beauty supply stores, nail salons in black neighborhoods because they gave them loans to open up there. And then the government or power who be said, we are going to call them the model minority because look how hardworking they are. Not only are they hardworking, they own businesses in neighborhoods where lazy, blah, 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 black people don't have themselves. And you guys brought into it. Well, your great-great-great-granddaddy did. And what they left out was, but we gave you loans to do that where we wouldn't give them to the black people who live in that neighborhood. And that is why you own businesses when they don't. It's not that they don't want to work. It's not that they didn't want to open up their own shops. It's that they couldn't get the loan to do so, whereas you did. And when you didn't get it from the bank, you went to your own country and got loans as well, which, you know, we were kind of stolen. We don't have that kind of connection back at home anymore. So we were out. So that is how you got to believe you were better than everybody else. Not true. You had a leg up. And that just trickles down. And why is that matter today because your great granddaddy believed it, told your great granddaddy, who told your granddaddy, who told Rick Chow, who told Andy, who chased Cyrus out of that convenience store after he stood there and calmly was accused of stealing and told them no 2 times and then just walked out. And Andy chased him, knowing he didn't steal anything, not knowing there was a gun on him, chased him for the length of a football field plus, and then unalived that boy. Kid, child, 14-year-old, all because of what happened when this country was set up. And why is this relevant? Now I'm talking to my Black people again with the Asians and all our allies, because re-education is also needed. If you want to boycott, let's boycott. You see my hair is natural, it's 4C. I don't care. I can braid it myself. I can drive an extra 30 minutes to go get the hair from a Black-owned shop. That is not a problem. However, education is important. I used this illustration before on another video. In the game of chess, the Black pieces and the white pieces are enemies. But the people moving the pieces, they are generally friends. When we are done destroying each other on this board, they're going to shake hands, congratulate each other, and go open a cold beer on the golf course. We are fighting against each other, not checking who's pulling the strings. And that is why my history lesson is important. Asians, you've been brainwashed. Black people, we've been erased from our history. And in addition to whatever boycotts we are going to do, we also need to do education, because if this hate and this fear has been passed down generations, we can start undoing it for the generations to come.
I've been noticing quite a few Asian influencers coming on here and telling other Asian people to be nicer to Black folks. And we're in their comment section like, oh, I like you. And thank you so much for telling the truth. But I need my people to understand that while some of these content creators are genuine, everybody knows how forgiving Black people are. They know how inviting we are to every other race, even the ones that treat us like trash. They wouldn't be on here trying to get back into our good graces if what we were doing wasn't working. Remember, we are redirecting our wealth back to ourselves. Let's not get distracted from what this is all really for. One day we'll be looking back at this moment in history when Black people took back control of our wealth and climbed up out of these trenches, y'all. And one day our great grandkids are going to be so proud of what we're doing right now.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I had no idea there were so many Black beauty supply owners. I had no idea. But won't God do it? He might do it in some crazy ways, but won't he do it?
Why are people upset that Black people are boycotting Asian businesses? No shade, they putting these businesses in our neighborhood and we no longer want to shop at them no more, because it's like every time we go in there, it's like racist, anti-Black, they think we stealing, they walking behind us, but they're not doing that to other races of people who go into their shops. So we don't want to be in there because we don't want to be discriminated against. And people are upset. Y'all can go there then. Y'all go shop. We not saying nobody. We're just not doing it because it's not like no shade. The fuck? No.
The Korean stock market crashed a week ago. Keep up the Asian boycott. Some of y'all are very ignorant. I'm not gonna say dumb out of respect, but they are ignorant. Ignorance means you do not know or you are not educated in that topic. And it's okay to be ignorant. I'm ignorant about a lot of things. I don't know everything about the world. But as much as people can see on the news that the Korean stock market crashed, you should be able to Google it real quick to see why it crashed. At first, I was shocked to see people taking credit for this, saying it's because of these Asian boycotts on nail salons. But then I'd be reading the comments, and many people agree. And then I'll finally see a logical and intelligent comment that says, what does the Korean stock market crashing have anything to do with the Asian boycott? Look, I love Black people. I have Black friends. I want us all to get along. But some of y'all need to police up some of this ignorance, just like how I'm going to police up some of this anti-Black hate. Like that Asian guy that burned that cross. No, that is not okay, and he should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Support black businesses. I just took my nails off myself, just one by one. These are my real nails. I'll just polish them, and I'm still not going to the Asians. I'm not going back. I'm standing behind what I said. If you're going to a nail tech, go to a black nail tech. That's it.
We have gone from people placing huge orders at Chinese restaurants and not picking them up to vandalizing businesses, and now this. Yeah, I mean, this guy sucks. I don't really know what else to say. I feel like I'm gonna repeat myself here, but we are not all the same, and I think that's important to say again because things seem to be devolving. Yes, there's a lot of anti-blackness within our community, and it is hard to fight that because we, Asians collectively, cannot even come together as a group. So now would be a good time because I got a lot of comments about this in my last video in this space about, oh, well, what black businesses do you support? Now would be a good time to clarify that we do support you guys. The biggest example would be during BLM with Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. A lot of us did come out in support of you guys. We marched with you. We, including myself, donated to organizations like the ACLU. My point is, especially with all the discourse right now, maybe you guys don't know that there are a lot of us in support of the black community. Maybe more than you think. Social media tends to be so polarizing and the negative news always rises to the top. Also, just because I did not make a video about the Rick Chow verdict does not mean that I am anti-black. There was a lot to digest there. If the charge was Rick Chow stereotypes black people and that's why he chased after Cyrus, everything would be a lot simpler, but that's not how it was. There was a lot to think about, and I, like a human being, took my time to try and really understand everything that was going on, all the details that were there, that weren't there, and by the time that I had done that, everyone on the internet had already said everything from both sides, and I didn't feel like making a video about it. I am not a buzzword factory who turns on a camera and starts angrily shouting things like anti-blackness and proximity to whiteness every time something bad happens to a black person. Not that I'm accusing anyone of doing that, okay? Please. I am sorry for this man. I hope he gets found and tried. We are not all like that. I hope you guys understand. I hope things don't escalate much further because we need each other. Thanks for watching.
Asians are already crying. Asians are already losing. In fact, they're having a lot of losses right now that their folk knows that it will be very hard. It will be very difficult for them to recover. See, the truth is, it's not going to be too hard to understand the people that struggle, the people that stood, the people that came for you to be in America. But a lot of them will not understand that because every single point in time, they're trying to dehumanize Black Americans. They're trying to talk down on Black Americans. They're trying to make it look like, oh, Black Americans are the problem. Why, in real sense, they know that them folk are the most racist. They are the most anti-blackness, blah, blah, blah. So when I see them discovering it, honestly, I will tell you that it is going to be hard. It is going to be difficult for them to recover from all the losses or all these losses that has been coming on them east, west, north, and south. But anyways, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, with that being said, let's dive right into the other part of this video, and I'll be back with commentaries. Let's go watch, guys.
I really want you guys to watch this video. You don't go into a black neighborhood without seeing Asian businesses or restaurants or liquor store owners, and vice versa. You don't go into Asian neighborhoods without seeing black customers and black clients that keep our businesses alive. And you don't go into the black community without seeing Asian businesses and restaurant and liquor store owners. But you don't go into the Asian community without seeing black customers and clients. Do you see the problem there? In just 15 seconds, not only did she show the problem between the Black and Asian community, but she shows the problem of the Black community and our continuous allowance of us to let other people come in and economically exploit us, and for other people to see and benefit from our economic viability. Everyone but us benefits. Not only is economic exploitation horrible enough, it gets worse than that. They come into our communities and they're very anti-Black, and they treat our people disrespectfully, and oftentimes it has led to them taking Black lives. This happened in 1991. This happened in 2023. This is a 30-year period and the exact same things are happening. Something is immensely wrong as to why we have still allowed this to continue. The fact that we know how horribly we are treated by these business owners and their communities in our own community, and yet we have still somehow allowed them to be economically benefiting from us, is insanity. And the craziest part of it all is that none of these communities, whether it's Asian, Arabic, or even Palestinian, yes, are bringing in businesses that can benefit us, or that are necessary, are vital to our well-being. We don't need Chinese food to survive, so there's no point of us supporting them. We don't need our nails done to survive. We don't need liquor stores and drugs and horrible food that they're selling us. So the fact that they're able to still have economic viability in our communities is insane. They aren't bringing in hospitals to our communities. They're not bringing in grocery stores to our communities. There is no advantage of Black people allowing Asian businesses, Arabic, Palestinian businesses in our community. We're not even bringing in businesses that are selling products and goods that we could go and resell later that have some type of resale value. So it just is so preposterous that this is continuing to happen. And just if you thought it couldn't get any more silly, in 2020, they came out with Stop Asian Hate. It suggests that Black people were committing crimes against Asians. But if we're the ones who hated them, how are they allowed to open up businesses in our communities, and yet we aren't allowed to open businesses in their communities? Black people are the ones who helped them get that crime bill passed.
Why are Asian Americans so racist against Black people? This is a conversation happening right now in the United States after the acquittal of Rick Chow. I just saw a video in which an African American person correctly stated that Black people have never systematically oppressed Asian people. We've never destabilized an Asian country. It wasn't an African country or African Americans who dropped a bomb on Hiroshima, who spread Agent Orange in Vietnam. We weren't the ones to bomb the shit out of Cambodia and Indonesia. And even despite all of this, they still value proximity to whiteness. But none of this actually makes sense. And I think that is the first thing that everyone sort of must consider when we talk about anti-Black racism, when we're discussing racism in the first place. It's not an ideology that is typically subscribed to by intelligent people. So that's number one. We're looking for logic in something that's illogical. But when you know the history of the United States, anti-Black racism being wielded by other oppressed people makes perfect sense. But the usual suspect is capitalism. In the mid-1950s, there were alliances between African and Asian countries. Look up the Bandung Conference that occurred in 1955. There were nearly 30 African and Asian countries who came together. They were forming a solidarity movement against colonialism and imperialism. And of course, the CIA saw this as a major threat. But to further make sense of this anti-Blackness in the United States, we have to consider what this country offered to immigrants. The majority of non-Black immigrants in the United States were offered privilege that, of course, they weren't afforded in their home countries. But this privilege, of course, came at the expense of buying into the oppression of African Americans, of reinforcing the hierarchy of African Americans being at the bottom, even though it means that they themselves wouldn't be at the top. Asian Americans absolutely subscribe to this, and they sort of pride themselves on being the model minority, even though that term in and of itself is an insult. But what exactly does being a model minority entail? Number one, it requires a sort of docility, submissiveness, obedience. And I think many of us with knowledge of certain Asian cultures, particularly East Asian cultures, A lot of us know how much these cultures prioritize politeness, not questioning authority, but also the importance they place on status. And so what better recipe is there for a people reinforcing white supremacy without actually being white?
I hope y'all can hear me, but I'm so happy that a lot of people are boycotting Asian businesses, but I hate to be that negative person, not really, but we've done this before, so I want y'all to stick to it. As somebody who's a licensed nail tech, I have definitely told y'all my experiences. I've never had my nails done before by anybody other than somebody black, and I've only been to the nail salon one time, and it was a black lady, and I was 13 years old. My auntie paid for me to get acrylic nails by a black lady. And so, you know, I've never had to experience going into the shops with them, but I've seen it and I've heard about it. When I was first becoming a nail tech, I called around and did try to get into a few of their shops, and they would ask me if I'm black. I actually think I made a video 4 or 5 years ago. I might post it on here, like in the corner somewhere, if I can download it on this page. But you know, they would ask me if I was black after I sent my work, or they'll ask me on the phone, and when I said yes, they'll be like, oh, they'll call me back, never return my calls or anything. So I always had to work for myself. The only reason why I stopped doing feet is because I was in somebody else's house and it was taking up too much space. If I start back nails again, I'm sorry, it will only have to be the hands, because I really don't have the space in my house now with me and my boyfriend, and then we got 2 big ass dogs. So, you know, I do commend people for being honest and saying that black nail techs should be doing feet, because I actually agree. Feet don't really bother me as long as I have gloves on. If I see something that I don't like on your feet that's a little questionable, I just won't do them. And that's why it's also important to go to licensed nail techs. A lot of people think you're supposed to just go to somebody just because they do good work, but how they treat your natural nails is very important. You have people saying that you know, acrylics ruin their nails. Acrylics do not ruin your nails. A bad nail tech do. Over fouling, y'all fighting, picking at your nails, hitting your nails, and also keeping them on longer than 2 or 3 weeks. My sister kept her last set on for 2 months. Now her nails wasn't damaged, but I'm like, why would you do that? Now you got a little indentation. Why? Because the longer that your nails grow, the more that it's an indentation. It's too heavy for the edge, the free edge of your nail. You need to cut them down or balance it. You know, so it's important to go to somebody who also knows what they're talking about. As far as Chinese food, honestly, Chinese food ain't all that. You may find a rare place that has real chicken or good grades of chicken, and you know, it might be decent, but it's not all of that to just keep going. Beauty supply stores. I know I got locks, but it's black-owned beauty supply stores and hair care lines that are actually all black American owned. And when I say black owned, I mean black American, because I'm from Georgia. I'm from Decatur, Georgia. I was raised here most of my life. When I moved to Ohio, because I moved twice. Once up in high school and once as an adult when my mom got sick. And y'all know I moved back home last year, back to Georgia. But what I will say is that a lot of those Columbus, Ohio hair stores and nail places or whatever, they're owned by the Asians, and Africans are employed up in there. You would think they're black owned, but they're not. And those Africans treat us just as bad, stalking us, going out to out and everything. It's been plenty of stores that I done went to when I had my natural afro, because I used to have my natural afro, going in there trying to buy products, and the Africans are stalking me. I say the Africans because I don't know where these folks from, and I really don't give a fuck. Stalking me. It was one time that I asked when I was off of South Hamilton Road. If you're from Columbus, Ohio, when I was off of Hamilton Road, I forgot the place, but I went up in there, all African people, and I asked the woman if they were African because they were unprofessional in following me and several other people. Mind you, I had a couple bands in my pocket. I was really getting money at the time. Like, come on now. And she gonna say, yeah, come to find out, they're not the owners of that store. It was Asian owned, and all of them just worked in there. And I guess they thought that they was the slave catchers or something. I don't know what the fuck they thought, but they can be very unprofessional, and they can uphold that racism and ignorance just like the Asians. And that's why a lot of people are boycotting them. It's not a rare thing to be mistreated in the Asian space or a white space or any Mexican space. It's not rare. And so if you're going to boycott, this isn't temporary. This should be very long term, and y'all should never go back. You can learn how to cook the things that you like, and also you will know what's in it because you're the one that's cooking it. You don't have to go to a Asian-owned beauty supply stores. There's black ones. And if you like me, you plan your hairstyle. So if it's not nothing around you, you can also order from a lot of these black-owned hair stores. I've also been hearing that a lot of Asian beauty supply stores are blocking black American-owned hair stores from getting merchandise. If that's the case, then start ordering design essentials that's black-owned. I think they're black American owned. I hope so. And other different brands that's black owned. Y'all don't have to just shop at these hair stores. If they don't have what you have, then unfortunately you may have to go somewhere else. But you have to be very careful with just saying you're boycotting Asians, because a lot of non-Asians uphold that, including Africans, including a lot of Spanish-speaking people, Mexicans, stuff like that. So you want to be very careful, you know. And it's unfortunate because I think we all have pretty decent cultures. That's pretty, you know, it's some good things about Asian culture and certain African cultures. It's so many countries up in Africa. That's why I'm just saying African. It's a lot of Mexican, just a lot of beautiful culture. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't like Black Americans, and you have to be careful with who you support, because you could be supporting an Asian company or a Mexican company or some type of African country, a company that doesn't like Black Americans. A couple years ago, they was telling us that we had slave food. Now your sons and daughters walking, talking, and acting just like us. I know because my so-called first love was from Ghana. He just moved back there, I think a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago, I heard. You want to be just like a Black American, but I heard that you would talk down on us when I wasn't around and all the just this weird stuff. You got to be careful. And that's why people be calling these folks tethers, because they really are that. So let's start by supporting Black American owned companies and then go from there. If you want to go to an African market and stuff, do you, but make sure these people actually like and respect you. And for the most part, Asian companies do not. That's the nail salons, that's the beauty supply stores, that's everything. A lot of them do not respect you, so why are you even up in there? And why would you even want to chance it? It's places that be up in our community 20, 30, 40 years and do not like us at all. It's no reason why Rick Child got off. And I didn't comment because, unfortunately, who I'm dating, they have certain type of authority, and I don't want to speak on some stuff and it affects him and his job or my job or whatever. But what I will say is that that whole case was some bullshit. Y'all want to talk about, oh, it's not everybody, but it's enough of y'all to where it is definitely a stereotype. That's why I believe a lot of stereotypes are true. Not all of them, but a lot. That hurry up and buy, that's stalking us, that is definitely Asians. Other people too, but mainly Asians. The fighting our children and shooting them in the back of the head, in the back, that's definitely a lot of y'all. And y'all get away with it. So no, I don't want to say, oh, let's just stop supporting that specific place. How about you stop altogether and find somebody? And a lot of nail techs do need better professionalism as far as like Black nail techs and hair stores and stuff like that. But if y'all work with them, they could get better. And if you just don't want to support that specific Black-owned company, Black American company, then there's other ones out here. But if you could give these Asians, Mexicans, these Africans a chance, why can't you give another Black American the benefit of the doubt or a chance? It's not just one Black American hair store or one Black American nail tech. It's plenty of businesses. How about you choose from them and stop automatically going there? I heard when I was doing nails that a lot of people didn't want a Black nail tech. That hurt my feelings. That hurt support me, and I was very professional until I wasn't, and then I had clients come out and support me. But I'm not going to listen to you say the shops do this when they're not even licensed. I went through the whole thing just so I could be licensed to give you the best care. Give these licensed techs and these licensed people, Black American people, a chance, period.
Asians are truly regretting. Asians are truly crying. And I don't think these Asians will recover for all the losses that they are literally getting right now. And one thing I have seen is they are the cause of their problem. And until a lot of them realize and know how to adjust their ways and know how to stop this their anti-blackness, racism when it comes to black people, they will still be backward. It baffles me that something will happen and an Asian person will literally open his mouth to say that, oh, it actually is coming from just one person. Why are you boycotting all the Asians? Oh, Black Americans do too much. Oh, Black Americans do this. Oh, Black Americans do that. Leaving their faults behind. It is sad that a lot of them will literally say every single trash they have to say before they will now realize that, oh, the Black community have literally come true for them. I can't lie to you, this time around, the losses is hitting them because as a business person, your main aim and your focus is how you can literally be able to achieve all the success and the good thing in life. If at the end of the day you cannot achieve such things, it simply means there is a very big problem in paradise. And that is typically what Asians are literally going through right now. And I'm not sorry for them. I don't even feel for them because a lot of them don't even feel for themselves. I love the fact that Black Americans are willing to remind each other that you see these people boycott them. It's just a whole lot that comes with this Asian community trying to either intimidate, trying to either shame, trying to make Black Americans look like they are not worth it, trying to make them look like they are literally the problem, why in real sense Asians are the problem that is disturbing their own community. It baffles me. And I said it in my last video that after some research that I did, do you know that I find out that these said Asian people don't even support themselves in businesses? They don't. They don't even stand by themselves. They don't even come true for themselves. They don't even say, oh, this is my Asian brother, let me go patronize. So every single thing that they are literally enjoying while still strong is coming from the Black community. And I see a lot of people as well also saying that, oh, even if we want to open our stores, even if we want to open our spas, even if we want to open our hair salons, most of the things we are going to be using are going to be coming from the Asians, they're still going to be coming from the Chinese, from the Japanese, from the Vietnamese, and so on and so forth. I don't care. I don't care. In as much as these Asian stores, especially in Americans, are boycotted, it's just perfect. See, the only thing that a lot of them would have just done is to come out publicly, admit, and then apologize. Like that would have literally been very, very simple. But for them to now come and be claiming or assuming that they are never at fault, they don't have any issue, Black Americans are the problem, that is stupidity to me. Right now, they are seeing the losses. Right now, they are crying on the street. In fact, a lot of them are crying deep cry that they can't even come to the public to come air out because they know that they have literally messed up. But anyways, that is good for them and that is their own cup of tea. If they wish, they should change. If they wish, they should not. But one thing I'll keep saying is if you point the wrong finger on Black Americans, one day it will literally visit you. So I don't know why it is hard for you as an immigrant to respect the people that have literally struggled for you to be in America, to respect the people that fought for you, to respect the people that made you who you are. Anyways, let me know what you think. credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. And I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, with that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.